efforts to catch up with science and technology and innovation. Science and technology and innovation, these are indispensable in the modern economy, in the modern world.
The problem being that, while we have our PhDs here, there aren't enough of us. And everywhere else in the world, for research to be successful, you need a complete research group.
It's very important that the PAASE members and scientists based in the Philippines are continuously in contact, so we will know the needs of the Filipinos and opportunities that the Filipinos can have to do science with their PAASE counterparts.
I think that is one of the good programs that they keep on supporting some of the initiatives of our researchers and scientists here in the country.
The role of this cooperation among these government agencies really is to be able to attract science and technology global-based companies to set up shop here. And that is really key in terms of developing the science and technology innovation ecosystem in the country.
We really need to ratchet up the appreciation, the recognition of the importance of science and technology and innovation.
And we are all trying to attain what we call the common good, the greater, higher, long-term good of the Filipino people.
Good morning, everyone. Gisela Concepcion here of PAASE. Welcome to our PAASE Fireside Chats, episode 31. And this is about how to tech startup. And we have a very special guest today. He's very special to me because, he's my nephew by my cousin, and I'm very proud of him. And this is a case of someone who's an outstanding product of nature and nurture. And I think his DNA is good on both sides of the family, his mother and his father, but also he grew up under certain circumstances that allowed him to be a very creative, innovative, and at the same time also very people-centric person. He's very kind and very generous person as well. And I'm talking about Mark Padilla. So Mark Padilla is our speaker today. And in the poster, you'll see that he is a Miracle Worker Officer. Okay, and his new startup is Storage X. But let me tell you a bit about Mark. So Mark is a graduate of the Ateneo de Manila University, Bachelor of Business Administration, Business Commerce, 1991. But then his education never stops. So he's attended the following programs in the following prestigious schools. Asian Institute of Management Masters in Entrepreneurship from 2000 to 2001. Okay, and then the others I'll just read, not necessarily in chronological order. This is just such a long list of his education and training. Massachusetts Institute of Technology Executive Management Program from 2010 to 12. London Business School Executive Program in Entrepreneurship 2015 to 2016. IMD Business School Executive Program on Family Businesses 2017. The Wharton School Executive Program on Finance and Operations 2016. Harvard Business School Executive Program on Entrepreneurial Strategy 2018. So just to show you that it takes more than just one's DNA to do it. You need to invest in your nurture, your education. And he's been educated in the top universities of the world in business. Now, let me tell you about his interests and his businesses. What are his interests? Reading books. And he's also interested in hiking. I can imagine him hiking and he's just thinking and thinking about, what he would like to do for himself and for the world. So what has Mark done, during his young life? First of all, after graduation from college, this is like legend in our family. He went to the province where his Lola on his mother's side had a farm or had land, and he set up a piggery. That was his first business. And he took care of the pigs. And then at some point, he decided that he would branch out into something related to a piggery. So he abandoned that business and went into, if I recall, feeds and fertilizers. So let me just read all the businesses that Mark began, and they're thriving. It's Agro Tiger Philippines Corporation, okay, which develops and manufactures, markets and exports sustainable plant nutrition products. Now, today he will talk about Storage X Corporation, a tech startup designed to offer last mile logistics solutions to all of us. He is president of Safeguard Security Group, which is one of the oldest and largest private security companies in the Philippines, provides quality security guards and armored truck sales and services. This is he inherited from his father. Okay. Chief Human. What is this? Maybe you can think about this. It's called Android, invest na Android PC. He is, it is a company, tech startup that will design and manufacture autonomous robots to complement various service industries. So this is very forward looking. So among us who are in academia, who are in this field of research and development, then just know that you have an industry taker in Mark Padilla. He is Chief Disruption Officer. So these are the things we keep talking about, disruption, but he's ahead of us. He's Chief Disruption Officer of Techurious, a holding company for various tech startup investments. He is an owner and president of Superseed Mega Properties, which builds and leases commercial properties. Well, this one, I think we already probably expect that he would be into. He's into Flora Protection Specialists, company that manufactures and trades environment-friendly products. The list goes on and on and on. There's several more here. And it's just telling us, it reflects the very active, creative, and productive mind of a young man like Mark Padilla, whom we are very proud of. So today, we'd like to hear from him. There's so much that we can learn from entrepreneurs and industry, and we have to come down from our ivory towers in academia to listen to a guy who's become successful in his own effort, on his own initiatives. So thank you, Mark, for joining us today.
Thank you, Tita. Thank you for inviting me again. 8 months ago, I talked about Agro Tiger Philippines and how this tiny fertilizer completely invented fertilizers in the Philippines, competes with the world's best and exports to different markets. And now we're going to talk about a different company. This is a tech startup. And if you don't mind sharing the next 20 minutes, I'd like to share the story of how it started, because even I can't believe it happened. And if you allow me, can I share my PowerPoint?
You are a you're a co-host and you can share your PowerPoint.
Okay. So StorageX Corporation, I am Mark Padilla, Chief Miracle Officer. Okay. So this is what happens when you tell your tech team to do a PowerPoint. They actually make it in such a dashboard, very, very non-traditional PowerPoint. How did it start? First, we had an aha moment. Okay, so that aha moment came from an article in Facebook. I was reading Fortune magazine, and it was all about smart lockers. Okay, so I said to myself, can it be done here in the Philippines? There was a pain point that was validated. I run a lot of dorms, and we see these things happening daily. A lot of online deliveries were being delivered, and the owners were not there to pick it up, right? So I told all my managers, don't touch the package, don't receive it, because we might be liable if something happens. So what happened was it creates a mountain filled with online deliveries. And then what happened next was we had fights in the lobbies because some of these packages were lost, damaged, some of them were stolen. And so clearly there was a pain point that required a perfect solution. So with that idea and the pain point validated, I presented my idea confidentially to different forums and to 8 techpreneur mentors. One of them actually suggested a viable business model. Okay, so when that viable business model was accepted, we decided, let's do it. Let's do smart lockers. We initially created a company called Smart Locker Philippines Inc. However, my mentor said that isn't techie enough, so change it. And I said, okay, my idol was Elon Musk of SpaceX. We decided to name it StorageX Corporation. Then I had the logo professionally done. This was actually not the first draft, and it had a shield. And I remember many articles that keep your logo very simple. So we removed the shield, and this was finally our final logo. Then I also began to form the all Filipino dream team. Okay, so these are the 5 original employees, of which 3 are no longer here, and I'll explain to that later. No, because in tech, if you don't cut it, you have to be let go. So in this original tech team, we had the locker software developer, the app developer, the head of electrical engineering, the head of mechanical engineering, and of course, the female is my executive secretary. Okay, so just remember that out of the 3, 2 are still with us, the 3 were let go. Okay, this is very important. I never wanted to build smart lockers. I just wanted to import them. So we canvassed all over the world, Japan, Korea, China, and we were so shocked that the Chinese were selling at less than half the price of the Japanese in Korea. So I said, okay, let's just pick the best, the Rolls Royce of China. So I imported a couple of units. Big mistake, they don't work. So I talked to the suppliers and I said, can you help us? And of course, customer support in China is non-existent. They even had the goal to charge me additional $35,000 to help them. And of course, that didn't happen. So at this point, I said, let's just quit. I gave up. Then I remember this book of Richard Branson, Losing My Virginity, where on his first day of launching Virgin Atlantic, he lost 750,000 pounds. What happened is one engine exploded, and his insurance was officially going to begin the next day. So he couldn't file insurance. So this was very inspiring because I also lost hundreds of thousands of pesos on lockers I could not use. So here comes the challenge. My software developer said, sir, we can build the software. And I said, really? You can build it from scratch? If you build the software, I'll give the hardware a shot because I'm into manufacturing. I think I can build the hardware. And so The voyage, the journey of building it locally started. At 50, this was last year. At 50, I already achieved work-life balance. Life was good. I would go to office maybe 2 to 3 hours. Everything was professionally run. Everything was doing well. And I knew if I go into tech, my work-life balance would be disrupted. So I had a family meeting and I asked them, would you allow daddy to go into tech? And of course, if I go into tech, things won't be the same. And the vote unanimously was go get him, dad. So the journey. One of the first things I did was ask my daughter to be my co-CEO. My daughter is tech savvy. She can do a MacBook Pro. She has a MacBook Pro, iPad Pro, iPhone, the latest iPhone Pro. She's so tech savvy. So I asked her and she accepted. And of course, she gets a free hug and a free hoodie. But here's more importantly, why I did it. One, I wanted to teach her tech. And two, more importantly, the tech that we did, if a 13-year-old got it, then what more an adult who's technically challenged. So every technology, if it passes my daughter, it will pass everyone. It's going to be that easy. Now, building the HQ, you see how much faith has or luck has helped us. The perfect location came on the ground floor of our existing offices. This used to be the Lawsons. Of course, COVID shut it down. They never renewed. So I asked the owner of the building, can I take over the lease? And of course, they were very much happy to oblige. And so what was a former convenience store became our HQ. Now remember, so many stories of tech starts up in garages, dormitories, and this is where we'd like to say that Storage X started from an abandoned convenience store. So it was time to make the calling card. I didn't want to be called CEO, CTO, president. I wanted to be called the Chief Miracle Officer, because if this Filipino company would actually make a working prototype of a smart locker, it would be a miracle. And so the name stuck. I'll be called the Chief Miracle Officer. So in making the user interface, we wanted it to make it seamless, frictionless, error-free. So what would happen is Mark and the developers would first conceptualize the user interface. Then when I would have my walks with my daughter, Sydney, I would discuss it with her. And if it was acceptable to her, if she got it, then we would encode it. That means a 13-year-old got it. It's that easy. Here's another leap of faith. We leased and renovated a huge factory. This is about 3,000 square meters, even without a working prototype, okay? Again, luck played here because this is actually a factory right in front of AgroTiger Philippines, our fertilizer company. And I said, even without a prototype, the location is so perfect, I signed it. And then, of course, we created a showroom right in front of our headquarters because I also wanted it to be like a showroom for cars where you can test drive your vehicles, you can check it out. So if you come to our headquarters right now, the showroom is already built. Any customer can actually test drive their own units even before deployment. So in technology, everything is super fast. So as soon as I signed the lease, we started renovations. Okay. Move-in day was less than 60 days. This picture, when I transferred to the demo, you can see that this picture is the calm before the storm. Everything is neat, and later you'll see how a tech startup office really looks like. We have sleeping cots, people sleep overnight. We have many things that a normal office will not see. Okay. Okay, and progress for software was very fast too. Everything was expedited and each step had to go through me. Okay, so I remember reading a book of Steve Jobs, and he said when he created all his tech products, he said he wanted 4 steps, meaning only 4 steps to reach the final function. What we did is we couldn't create 4 steps. Maximum was 6. So I said to my developers, okay, this is our mission. Every function must be done in less than 60 seconds or less. It's going to be that easy. Okay, this is the hardest part of a tech startup, creating the software. Remember, it had to be frictionless, bugless, seamless. It had to be so easy for the technically challenged. And this was our approach. So first, you conceptualize the UI just in a whiteboard, okay? And then you start to connect the dots. You start to conceptualize any errors. You start to conceptualize, put yourself in the user, and then just write it down first, okay? And then we started developing first the locker software, okay? After that, we went into the mobile applications. Okay, so you can download our mobile applications on Google Play Store or Apple iOS. And then the last, the admin software. So we actually created a software to monitor all lockers anywhere in the Philippines or the world. So I remember reading an article where Tesla monitors every single car. So we can also do that with every single locker. Now, here's the challenge. Now that you created the software for the locker, you created the app, then you created the admin software, you had to link all 3 in real time. So I remember when the developers were finished and I tested the software, I pressed the done button in the locker. It registered in the app. It registered on the admin software in seconds. I just wanted to jump for joy. That was very, very hard to do. So after 7 long months and literally millions spent in R&D, we finally built our first working prototype. So what happened next? Okay. We created promo videos, and these videos only cost us $90 in Fiverr. It was created by an Arab woman, actually. And when I explained to her what Storage X, she got the video so perfect. Okay, this is August 31, 2021. And that video went viral. So if you don't mind, I'll play that video. It's just a minute.
So there's no sound. Mark, no sound.
There's no sound. Sorry.
Mm-mm.
I can hear it, but there's nobody else can hear it.
I can't.
Oh, sorry. I can hear it, po. Do you want me to try to play it again, or?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, for a while po, huh? Okay, huh? Is there sound?
No.
None. So
None pa rin. Sorry. I don't know what's happened. I can hear it actually. I don't know why I can't ano. Oh, sorry.
it's all right. So
Okay.
you can
Sorry,
proceed.
Mark, you can try in the Zoom button, the microphone icon,
Mm.
and there is an option there to share your audio, computer audio. There should be.
Microphone array speaker same as system test.
The computer.
Which one is that? Which one will I use? Speaker same as system. Select a microphone. Switch audio settings. Does anybody know how to share the sound? Yes, speaker, microphone.
So I'll try to work on it a bit later because you sent me these fipers. Maybe proceed first with your
Sige po.
on top.
Sorry about that. I didn't know because it plays with my.
Yes.
Okay, so what am I going to do? Yeah, okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, how do I resume? Okay. So that video, I sent it to friends and family, and it went viral. That was August 31, 2021. The funny thing is, I sent that in the morning. By the afternoon, even big real estate companies were already calling me, and I don't know how that happened. So on September 1, we were forced to launch Storage X. Okay. And when we launched Storage X, I had no sales force, I had no website. I just had some demo units, and I was already finding myself demoing to big real estate companies already, just in one day. So this is an example of Metro Manila. Metro Manila actually has 17 cities, and this is 14 cities of the 17. Just the high rises alone is 2,276. That doesn't even include the low rises. That doesn't even include other applications for smart lockers, which I will explain later. We are also in talks for regional expansion in Thailand. Hopefully, we will start exporting. I'm praying that I start exporting by Q1 2022. We've already touched base with Malaysia, and we're touched base with Indonesia as well. So, two ways to increase the chances of a tech startup to be successful. So, be a vitamin, meaning that you're actually not needed, but it improves the lives. So an example of this would be Peloton machine. So you don't really need a Peloton machine, but if you buy one, it's supposed to improve your exercise regimen, right? Or you can be a painkiller. In other words, you solve a pain point, a frustration that of society. Okay. So everybody knows in tech, all my mentors said, you have higher chances of success if you become a painkiller. We solved the pain point of the online shopper. Unfortunately, if the video plays, there's no sound again, unless I figure it out. How do you share sound? Share sound. Okay, here. Can I try?
Yes.
If you're a regular online shopper, then you know how frustrating delivery can be. You have no idea when your package will reach its destination. And, to make matters worse, sometimes your package gets either misplaced, damaged, or even lost along the way, which only adds to the frustration. Luckily, we offer the perfect solution that's designed to solve all your delivery frustrations easily, safely, and conveniently. So relax. Storage X smart lockers are here. Here's how it works. Whenever you order a product online, instruct the delivery courier to use the Storage X smart locker. Have him safely store the package and go. A prompt text notification will then be sent to your phone to inform you that your package has arrived. Then, using the one-time PIN sent to you, just claim your package at your convenience. It's that simple. Use StorageX smart lockers and have peace of mind when you shop online. Visit www.storagex.com.ph or like us on Facebook today to learn more about how our solution can work for you.
Okay, so clearly in that video, and this was very much validated by our own dorms, that when you deliver, sometimes the owner isn't there. So there is misplaced damages, lost packages. No? So the pain point was really clear there. Another pain point was actually on the delivery side, on the rider side, because he actually has to make more money by more deliveries. So what if the first person is not there? He doesn't make any money. So here's our video for that pain point.
If you are a hardworking motorcycle delivery courier, then by now you must have lost count of the number of times you've made a delivery only to find that the owner is not at the designated delivery point. Frustrating, right? Maybe you could have quickly continued with multiple deliveries instead and made more money. Good thing is, we understand. StorageX smart lockers solve this challenge by allowing you to enjoy a seamless delivery experience. So you now don't have to worry about wasting valuable time and can maximize the number of deliveries within a day. All you have to do is store your package in one of our safe and secure smart lockers in less than 60 seconds and go about your next delivery. It's that simple. Increase your productivity and take home pay today with the StorageX smart lockers. Visit www.storagex.com.ph and like us on Facebook for more information.
Okay, so there are so much applications for smart lockers, not only just in delivery. I'll give you some examples. So imagine a world filled with smart lockers. So student smart lockers. Imagine your son or daughter forgetting his homework, and then you have the homework sent by Grab, and then to one university smart locker, the person gets an OTP, pick it up anytime. And when he picks it up, there's his hot lunch as well. See, many applications. We're already doing this. We will release this by December. It's an outdoor public smart locker. So imagine I want to deliver a package to let's say Tita Giselle. Tita Giselle, I'll put it in the smart locker in the park. You pick it up anytime. So suddenly the one-time PIN is sent to Tita Giselle, pick it up anytime. Of course, I would have just paid for a transaction for that smart locker. So you can already see we can even disrupt the mail. This one we're already doing with National Bookstore, curbside pickup smart locker. So imagine a world where you order online, you don't have to go to the store. You might want to pick it up going home. Maybe you live in a branch near that area, and we're going to start rolling this out next month. First branch will be Quezon Avenue, but 3 branches have been proposed. We're also going to do a drive-through smart locker system, completely autonomous with a grocery chain, which I cannot still tell you for confidential reasons. Imagine retail. We can disrupt the people. So you order, you want to pick it up in the store. You don't even have to talk to somebody. We will just give you a one-time PIN. You just go to the corner and your stocks are already there. Imagine hot food dispensing smart lockers. Okay, we actually imported one from China. It doesn't work, so we can develop it here. So imagine the disruption where a restaurant puts this in a wall. You don't even need a seating area. The kitchen will be behind. You put the order inside, and then you just give an OTP. The person comes and gets his hot food. Now, we've also done a variation of this to disrupt the drive-through system. We've offered this to Starbucks, but Starbucks said they're going to ask Starbucks USA. We can eliminate the 3-point system drive-through of Starbucks. No more ordering on a speaker, no more paying on a paying window, and no more claiming on a claiming window. Those 3 points down to 1, you save on the drive-through real estate. We can do that. Imagine refrigerated smart lockers. Okay. Imagine mail, PO box, pigeonhole smart lockers. We can also do this. This is very easy for us. So imagine if you live in a dorm, you go to check your mail, and then suddenly your pigeonhole is already full because you forgot to pick it up. Here, as soon as it's loaded, you get an OTP notification. You just come down. You can even share the OTP to your maid to pick it up instantly. We're also doing this by December. It will come out, home smart lockers. So I've been watching my wife shop groceries. So our home locker version will be slightly bigger than this. Hopefully it will come out in December, and we will test it first in our own home. Imagine this, a drone airport with smart lockers already being done in Canada. This is a picture in Canada, and it's already being done in China. The problem with drones is that it only works in suburbs. The laws are for suburbs, but when those laws are changed to cities, you can imagine drone helicopters landing in public parks, and then a complete smart locker fulfillment center. So just pick it up from that drone airport. We can also do mini smart lockers for various applications. This one is seen in China. So if you want to charge your cell phone, you put it in, and then you pay a smart locker for that. As simple as that. Airport luggage smart lockers. This one's easy for us to do. Again, I am going to propose this for all the airports in the Philippines. And then we're also now experimenting on vending machine smart lockers. So imagine your wife works in a call center, she runs out of money. You can pay through GCash, PayMaya, and then all she has to do is enter the code. She gets her drink from far away. So, and many, many more applications. So these are current installations we've already installed in Green Hills called Shopbox. We are going to install in National Bookstore called Shop and Pickup Box. Estancia Mall was just installed last night at until 3 a.m. in the morning. And of course, these are the famous brands, but we've been installing all over Metro Manila with buildings, and we continue to install with buildings and more big brands to come. So we intend to ship into Cebu. We already have 8 franchisees lined up. We are testing first with our Cebu because we already have a customer in Cebu. And then hopefully by Thailand in first quarter of 2022. Before I go into competition, I'd like you to read the picture for 15 seconds before I explain this page. Okay, so this was sent to our FB page. It's not our smart locker. That's the problem when it comes from abroad. Okay, we are not the first smart locker company in the Philippines. We are actually the 4th. 2 came in too early. 1 is from Thailand. That's the one from Thailand. And of course, there's 1 more coming in. There's 2 more coming in. M-Box of Injapsia and Pop-Box of Indonesia. All are manufactured from China. So there's a distinct advantage for getting Storage X. Okay, 1, we're much, much cheaper than China. Apples to apples, we're 51% cheaper than China. Apples to apples. Okay, but our specs are so much higher than China. So even with higher specs, we're still 20% cheaper than China. So you get a Mercedes-Benz for the price of a Kia. We're completely customizable. Okay, so here I actually visited Fifth Avenue Place and I asked them, is it being used? No, it's not being used. Why? Because it was geared for laundry. Big mistake. Ours is customizable. I told Fifth Avenue, so if you wanted to put a logo of your building on the touchscreen, can they do it? Of course they can't. Nobody can because it's all made from China. Ours can be done easily. We are the only smart lockers that can take food items. So food can be stinky, wet, frozen. Our smart lockers can accommodate that. We're the only ones who have the proprietary technology to do that. If any of our competitors come, they say we don't take food. We take parcels, but how can you do that when 50% of online deliveries are actually food? We can operate either through Wi-Fi, Globe, or Smart. That's very, very important because if Wi-Fi is intermittent, you need a backup signal. And if you can get Smart and Globe to work side by side, then actually you can put outdoor versions, and we're the only ones who've perfected that technology, completely local Filipino technology. We have loads of advanced features found nowhere else. In fact, I actually tell my people, my God, we overdid it. We're even better than Amazon. And honestly, we are. I've actually offered our smart lockers to companies in the USA and Canada. Of course, they haven't replied, but I'm confident that we created our own advanced features nowhere found in the world. Warranty is unlimited, very important. As long as your lease is with us, we will fix the unit as long as the lease is in place. And if we cannot repair it within 24 hours, our brand promise is we replace the whole unit with a brand new unit, no questions asked. We're the only ones who can do that because we manufacture from Pampanga and it's not sourced from abroad. We will soon link with GCash, PayMaya, ShopeePay. So you can imagine the disruption this will cause. You can purchase something. You can purchase your a transaction, just rent a locker for a day, a locker for a month. Can you imagine this in bus stations, in LRT stations? So much disruption can be done. So I've been asked so many times, Mark, how much have you put into StorageX? And the answer is just give it a blank check. Obviously, the budget has gone over the original budget, and I continue to put money in. So other tech startups, we also have Studio X. Studio X is another Filipino technology. It's incredible technology. We are not launching. The reason why is because all my eight techpreneur mentors cannot figure out a viable business model for it. So even though we have the technology, we don't know how to make money from it. Android OPC is my robotics company. We are building security roving robots. We are building concierge robots. We are building butler robots. So completely, again, Filipino robotic engineers, very talented people. And of course, we are going to launch our next startup in December, which is called Blast Radios. I cannot tell you what that is, confidential. So, but in December, if this works, it's a virtual monopoly, and this will make more money than StorageX. So to end, wise Chinese proverb. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago and now. So in other words, what we're trying to say is smart lockers is going to be a long game. We have to teach a generation to use smart lockers, just like 3 years ago, GCash and PayMaya taught a generation to use e-wallets. And we are ready, and we are well funded for the long game. So thank you very much. That's the PowerPoint presentation. And if you have any questions or you want to go for me to go straight to the demo, I can do a demo too.
Thank you, Mark. So very exciting work you're doing. Obviously, it requires a lot of thinking, creativity, and people skills to do this. At this point, I'd like to introduce and hand over the virtual floor to my co-host, Felino Ino Lansigan, who is a PAASE board member. He is former Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences of UP Los Baños and a Professor Emeritus of UP Los Baños. Ino?
Okay, thank you, Madam President Giselle. Thank you, Mark, for sharing the process you went through and also the experience you had in setting up StorageX. And I think this will be a learning experience for all of us here in the room, including those from my own university at UP Los Baños, because we have generated a number of technologies that we'd like to commercialize. And this gives us an opportunity to apply what you have gone through in the process. So I have, we'll have open forum, but then let me as per Mark, the question, we have generated a number of models in UPLB as far as starting up technologies, particularly in biotech. I was with biotech for some time, 2 decades ago. My question is, should the startup be initiated by the researcher herself or himself, or it should be a separate unit within the institute and not necessarily involving the researcher? Thank you. Mark?
Good question, po. No? I'm switching to phone because just in case you want to demo, I'll have to stand and go to the demo units.
Okay.
That's a good question, which I have already met a lot of inventors. The problem is in business, you require not only an inventive mind, you also require business skills, and business skills also might require money, right? So what we actually tell the inventors is don't go at it alone. Seek a partner where you lack the talents and your partner is your jigsaw puzzle, if you want to put it that way, no? That he has the talents you don't have. Okay, so like us, we already have the experience, and we do either pay inventors for their inventions, or if they don't like to sell, we JV with them. So for everyone who has an invention, consider also partnering up with people who have the skills that you may not have.
Okay, thank you, Mark. For those who would like to ask questions, please raise your hand and to be recognized, and then you can unmute yourself and ask the question. Go ahead. Okay, Al, you're recognized. Go ahead.
Thanks, thanks, Mark. Very exciting work. I mean, you really went full bore on this one. Definitely all that learnings that you've been out collecting your certificates of completion and your learnings is paid off from a actual implementation. And soon enough, you'll have your impact, not only to the Philippines, and even looking like the ASEAN already for your storage checks. As I was listening to you, I'm still trying to go back to our trip to UP Los Baños, where it's like a candy store, indeed, for agriculture for us. And only to find out we got out empty-handed because we couldn't make the university agree with what we wanted and what we're willing to work with. And so I'm wanting to revisit it again. In this case, maybe start on merging, or at least a synergy between what you've been doing. I mean, definitely AgroTiger was a good line in, but it's a bit too aggressive enough for me, I think, for the initial inventors that I've spoken to be wanting to do a write-off joint venture or a licensing agreement. So they're not used to that practice. But over the years, we've been training. Definitely, I've been part of UP Tech Transfer for the last 7 years, and we've been training them and definitely telling them that it takes a team and you have to give up. You can't keep 100% of what you do. You have to license, you have to partner, you have to form a what we call the I-Core model, which is a inventor, a entrepreneur like you, or an industry mentor like you who's familiar with the industry, and a tech transfer officer who's going to facilitate. And we've started this training about 3 years ago. We're actually running the third one now for making instructors to do that. That's a model in the US that's been in use for about 10 years, transferring technology from the National Science Foundation. They do about $6 billion worth of research every year, and they want to do the transfer. But the problem is inventors didn't know how, so we have to form a team around them. So they begin to understand that they can't do it all, and they need to make friends, and they need to partner. So with that kind of a change, since you've been talking to the group, I know Giselle and Ino has been helping you. I just told you that there's a new team in place in Los Baños now, and we've been training them with the same concepts of partnering. And there's a new private sector tech transfer business development officer that directly reports to the chancellor. Maybe it may be high time to look at. But specifically to your storage X, one idea that I just thought about is how can we capacitate? You're delivering packages. You're a logistics company delivering packages and making sure they arrive to the people that need them or want them. In logistics for agriculture, since Ino is here, making it a benefit for LB and also a few fellow academicians in the National Academy are here as well. And so is CP, which is our stalwart in both DOST and PAASE. How can we connect our, say, for lack of a better word, product, maybe an agricultural product, say coming out in the regions, we're doing Smart Agri now with CRCA. If we say, for lack of a better word, I'll make it up. I have a deal, special deal or special FOGRA. I needed it to be delivered to flush subdivisions here in Green Hills or in your place in North, you're in Acadia or something, or in Forbes. Because I was trying to do this with Malagos cheese. Malagos cheese is produced in Davao and by the Puentes Pinas of Malagos chocolate. They used to supply PAL for the high-end artisanal cheese. But when, of course, the COVID happened, the whole market collapsed. But she still wants to ship it to former first-class passengers that want the cheese. And the problem was he couldn't deliver it. She couldn't connect the logistics and the payment. And so I tried to help her. And there was one vendor here in North Green Hills that were able to take it on and I was able to buy it. So it's that connection. How can we use StorageX, you being in the logistics space now, to facilitate agri, for lack of a better word, agri production to connect it from the producer to the buyer? I think it's my question. Sorry for the long-winded one, but again, congratulations, by the way.
Okay, good question. Okay, first of all, StorageX does not touch the products. Okay, that is, we provide the lockers. It is against our policy to touch the products. So we facilitate and connect the seller to the buyer. But in specific to your question, AgroTiger is already selling anywhere in the Philippines. Now, to each farmer who wants to sell, you have to have an online strategy. The first online strategy would be create a website. Second of all, create the marketplace. The marketplace actually is the platforms out there like Lazada, like Shopee, and then of course there are right now some agricultural matching. So you post your harvest and then people will bid or buy. So there are many ways, no? But the thing is, farmers cannot just depend on the traditional way of marketing. So you have to have an online strategy. So like, for example, in AgroTiger, we have Tingi products, and the Tingi products now go through Lazada and Shopee. Yeah. But I think there are people who want to see a demo. Would you like to do a demo? Maybe 15-minute demo or 10-minute demo? I'll try to do it as fast as possible.
Yes, please, okay. Mark. And then there are a couple other questions afterwards. I have
okay, so welcome to StorageX HQ. Okay, this is the StorageX, the traditional lockers. No, of course, this is what we put in condos and offices. So this is called a mother locker. So a mother locker is a locker with the touchscreen. Okay. So the complete brains of the locker is there, and you have a QR reader, okay? And then as you increase your transactions, you can actually connect with a auxiliary locker. So your locker connects to the mother locker. You can expand your mother locker as much as 9 units of this, okay? Each unit has a CCTV, which records on a 7-day loop. So any conflict resolutions, we can picture the transaction for you. Okay, so let's go into the user interface, which was designed by my 13-year-old. So for example, I'm a McDonald's delivery person. Okay, I'm going to deliver, let's say, to my secretary who will assist me in the demo. I will press delivery.
Choose type of delivery.
So we even had to put voice prompts because we had certain problems with motorcycle delivery people who do not understand this. So we put voice prompts to make it easier. You have a choice of non-food or food. Since this is a McDonald's delivery, I'm going to put it into food.
Please enter all required fields and press done button.
Okay, so you're only going to put the required fields. If you have a QR code downloadable from our app, you just scan here. That's an autofill button. So I'm going to type my name. As soon as I type M, auto suggest comes out because I'm a frequent user. I'll put my number. We are not allowed to memorize your number because of National Privacy Commission. Email is optional, just in case you want an email, permanent email notification. Tracking number also is optional. Okay. Now I'm going to who ordered the McDonald's, the claimer. I'll put my secretary. Cell phone. Okay, so when done, just press done.
Choose locker box size that are available.
Okay, so since this is a McDonald's delivery, I assume it will fit in a small box. I'll choose small box. The sizes of the box in there, available boxes in the locker are there.
Read terms of service and press agree button.
So all you have to do is press agree. And then just check the details if it's correct. If it's correct, tama ba mobile number mo? Okay, if it's correct, just press finish.
Opening locker. Locker is open. Please put your item in close the door to end transaction.
So our lockers have mats for just in case the item is wet or frozen. Okay. Now I'm putting in the McDonald's. I realize the drink is too large. I can't put it in. I need to change the locker size.
Locker is open.
So this will do a countdown. If you do not do the transaction, it will alarm and go back and cancel the transaction. So now I realize it's too small. I'm going to shift to a bigger one.
Please close the door to open your new box. Opening new locker. New locker is open. Please put your item in close the door.
So I'm going to put the McDonald's with the large drink. Okay, it finally fits, right? I close. I'm the delivery guy. I'm done. Completely done. Now, within seconds, we will send an OTP to the one who ordered the McDonald's. So all you have to do is press claim. That OTP can be forwarded to your maid, to your driver. You don't have to be the one to pick it up. So now here comes the person who ordered the McDonald's. Just press claim.
Please enter your claim code.
Sorry.
Locker is open. Please get your item in close.
Get your McDonald's. Close it. The delivery is notified that the package has been picked up. Okay, so that's as simple as that. Of course, advanced features. I won't show it now, but we also have some advanced features for the lockers too. Yeah. Does anybody have any questions?
So, Mark, your daughter, Sydney, 13 years old, she's a very smart person, like you.
Yes,
What
she's
about
very,
the
very smart.
delivery person, the Lala Move guy or the Grab guy?
Okay.
Are you gonna train?
We'll show you an advanced feature that we just recently put up. So if you are a first-time user, all you have to do is press instructional videos are there. So if you're the delivery, you don't know what to do, you can just press, it will play an instructional video for you.
Choose between the non-food or dry food.
See? So we've started to think and anticipate all problems po.
Great. So this is a technology that's based on Internet of Things, and it's very oriented towards efficiency, of transactions in all of society.
And proudly made in the Philippines po, completely by 100% Philippines.
Yes.
Correct.
So, let's scout around for more with questions. Otherwise, I will ask a question.
Okay, are there any other questions? I also have a number of questions to Mark, but you can go ahead.
Please go ahead. Yeah.
Mark, I'm trying to relate. Well, first of all, congratulations and kudos, the messages that we've been getting in the chat. So congratulations, there are many of them. Okay, I'm trying to relate this to our situation here in the university. And the question is, technology startup requires, capital investment. Okay, and the question is, who should provide this capital, particularly in the context of a university promoting or trying to commercialize its technologies developed in the university? And related to that, Mark, you mentioned you experienced some frustrations as well. Okay, I think, can you give some advice to our researchers and technology developers on how to deal with this? Because it's very important that you have the right mindset to undergo this process. Go ahead.
Okay, Paul. One thing that UP Los Baños did correctly, you have a technology transfer office. Okay, so I've been to that office many times. The problem is not the office. The problem is actually the process of getting the technology. And as you know, I've tried my best to get at least 3 technologies which I found compatible with AgroTiger. Of course, all of it failed. So even though there is an office, there has to be the proper procedure, and don't make it hard for investors to get that. Sayang yung technology po of all the investment put into 100% Filipino technologies. Here comes a 100% Filipino company willing to pay for the marketing of it, and until now nothing happened. But it is correct that at least you have a technology transfer office. Okay. Now when a technology transfer inquiry comes, of course there should be a meeting between the inventor and the legal, okay, and then of course the private sector will also represent. Of course, the private sector only has a number of a limited patience, as you know, and we just hope that on the government side or on the UP Los Baños side or any university side, that hindi kami pahirapan sa requirements or time element po, no? But speaking now, requiring in the private sector, this tech startup, no? This I am fortunate that I have brick and mortar companies to sponsor all the cost of this tech startup. But happily to say that we were already approached by 3 tech funds. Of course, as of now, I still don't need the money for them, but we were given a blank invitation that should we need to expand, they're willing to invest. So the nice thing about that is great technology actually attracts. We never marketed ourselves that we needed the funds. They discovered us and they approached us.
Thank you, Mark. There are questions in the chat box from Gigi Padilla Chua. Can you choose the language? This is about storage.
Okay.
From Susan,
right.
How much does it cost? And then Paul Darwin has several questions. So the first 2 questions first.
Okay, so can you change the language? Yes, you can. As of now, it starts with English because it's Philippines, but once we start to export to Thailand, the Thailand franchisee already said it has to be English in Thailand. Thank God that my EA used to work in Thailand. So if ever we will do translations to any language, actually, we will do that for free. It's a simple button where you shift from one language to another. Okay. With regards to costs, right now, we do offer lease arrangement, but here's the great thing about that. Our competitors are already selling it, no, and we're already 1/3 the price of the competitors simply because they're made in China and they have taxes, they have shipping, and then they have patong. Ours is straight from factory with already our margins. We're already 1/3 their price. So, but we actually promote leasing over purchase. Why? Because these units, as you see, they will be upgraded later on. No, if it's a software upgrade, no need. We just need Wi-Fi. We will upgrade through Wi-Fi. But when we offer you lease and we offer upgrades on the hardware, our next generation will have credit cards, can take cash. So this will change. So if it's a lease, we'll change it, the units for free. Okay, so the pricing right now, this mother locker is only 10,000 pesos per month, ex VAT. And then every additional auxiliary locker is only 5,000 pesos per month, ex VAT. So it's that cheap. Now, imagine this one and this one is only cost 15,000 a month, and it can service up to a 50-story building. Now, one condo is already going to get from us 50 stories is 500 residents. That only costs 30 pesos per month per resident, or 1 peso a day for this unlimited use. So it's very, very, very cheap.
Okay, good answers. More questions here from Paul Darwin, D of UPLB. What if the user forgets to close the locker? What happens when a package is unclaimed? And how long do you think you will get back your ROI? What's your ROI? So
for a while, let me try to open the admin software. Admin software. Oh, sorry, that's our robot that detected me and it's talking. So this is our Android prototype. Okay, so we're into robotics. So it just detected me and said hi. Okay. So for all the problems, okay. This is our admin software. So we can detect claimed, even abandoned, deposits, all transactions. You can also control all your lockers. So what happens there is when you lease or buy from us, we enroll you into our admin software. You just go to our website. We send you an enrollment email. You type in the password in the enrollment email, and then you change your password so only you can control it. You can open your lockers if it is considered abandoned. We will give you the ability to do that. Basically, and then we will monitor it from our HQ. You can also monitor it from your own HQ through your own laptop. So if a door is not closed, the system will alarm after a few seconds. If it alarms, it will now notify Storage X HQ. It will now notify the laptop of the building admin, and then we will start to coordinate to check why is it alarming. So we put safeguards into the system itself.
Other question: what is your projected, ROI?
Oh, I cannot say that.
Well,
confidential.
Yeah, so that's question number 3.
But I will answer something. No, we've been given a valuation that is generous, and if I accept that, even just accepting 10% of it, everything is bawit and more pa.
More questions. Do you service all lockers? Example,
yes.
Clean the mats inside of food drippings. Very good question. How frequent is the maintenance per unit?
Okay. One thing very interesting is we've been approached, how do we disinfect the lockers given COVID? How do we clean it? we created a high-tech feature which I cannot present, no, but it's the only one in the world. You can actually, if you are renting from us or buying from us, we'll give you access to it. You can actually open the locker to clean it. So for example, if one door stinks because of the food and a person complains about it, you can actually open it. When you lease from us, we give you an extra mat. So you can clean it. You can put the old mat into the sun and clean it and then replace it with a new mat. All that technology is given as you lease or you buy from us.
So it's not surprising that Mark is into this because his other businesses are synergizing with this. So he does super cleaning and he does security, right? So you're into the security business. So that was my question. How do you ensure against hacking? So how much investing in the security of your system, your software system?
Okay, great question. But all our codes are, first of all, is encrypted. No, so you can't hack it because it's encrypted. But should anybody try to hack it, we actually have a kill switch. So what happens is we detect the hack and we kill that locker, and then we'll just have to reboot it some future time. So we have firewalls also. So you have to cross each firewall before you get into our encrypted code. So so far we feel that we've put enough safeguards into our software.
Thank you. Question from Tita Susan: you sell the lockers to buildings. Do retailers have to sign up with you?
Okay, we are currently negotiating with National Bookstore. What we told them is the first prototype is free. Everything exceeding, of course, they will lease. They've also agreed to that. So here's our policy po, if it's a new thing, we take on the cost of the R&D. The prototype is free always. Okay, everything exceeding, that's when we talk about price, whether it's buy or lease. We actually prefer that you lease because should we have any upgrades, whether in hardware model or software, if it's software, we just download, it's easy. But if it's a hardware model, you can return the old lockers to us and we'll replace it with a brand new upgraded hardware.
So Mark, you say this is proudly Filipino, by Filipinos, for Filipinos. So you describe to us the software team and what they've done, including your daughter's contribution. So your yes, I have
okay.
Yes.
So as you saw in the PowerPoint, I created my dream team. The problem with tech, everything is the speed of thought, which means that everything you think about, it should be done yesterday. Okay. So in the fast pace of technology, if you can't keep up, we'd ask you to do a graceful exit. So just to show you certain things about our HQ, we have bunk beds because our developers really, one day I came in and we had developers sleeping on the floor. So that's how fast we are. And then of course, we also have our brand promise that we develop very fast. For National Bookstore, their entire user interface will be done in a week. With Green Hills, they changed their user interface 3 times. We developed each user interface within 1 week. So we went online after 3 weeks because if they have changes, we have to fix it. Everything here is fast-paced. If you can't hack it, please have a graceful exit.
Okay,
so that's how it's done.
Part. So now I'm talking about this hardware by Filipinos.
Okay.
So you say fabricated in Pampanga.
Yes.
So obviously you have fabricators in Pampanga. Are they made of steel? Your boxes, are they made of steel? Are you using Filipino-made steel like Asian Steel of Benamin Co? I'm just curious. Okay. And then how do you do your refrigeration? How do you maintain the quality of your boxes or assure the quality of your boxes? Okay.
So, let me just show you something. So this is a standard model locker, no po? So this is an indoor locker, right? It's made of Philippine steel. Of course, our suppliers, I don't know exactly where their steel comes from, but we manufacture this and assemble it in Pampanga po, no? And then this is our outdoor version, which we already have customers for our outdoor version. This is made of higher grade steel. This one is powder coated, and then of course there will be a wrap done over it. This is different specs. This is now an all-weather touchscreen as compared to the indoor. Everything po is higher specs for an outdoor model. Okay,
Yes.
everything po is assembled in Pampanga, and then before it is deployed po, it is tested multiple times for quality control, for bugs, everything po. But as much as possible, we like to source everything from the Philippines. Though it's not possible, but we try to source everything from the Philippines.
So anyway, Mark, I'm always making you bandera because you're very proud of you. So some of you might know that Mark has a processing plant. He built a processing plant in Pampanga, right? And this
Yes,
is for your manufacturing of your other products, including your agri-biotech products. So I can imagine you really know the steel manufacturers in Pampanga.
Yes.
Now, my last question, Mark, because it's now 9:20. Imagine that
Yes,
so many people are interested in what you're doing. It's the for Filipinos. Okay, so we are proudly Filipino, by Filipinos, now for Filipinos. No, it's so easy for us in the city, in urbanized areas, to benefit from your technology, okay, your Internet of Things technology. Okay, but bottom line, you know that the problem in this country is that we always import products and we trade them. Okay, and many of the local products have imported components. Even if we export out, a large percentage of it is imported material, and that is why, you know, the net profit is not very, very great for our private producers. So you are also the leader in primary productivity, and that's what makes very proud that you have been a leader in producing agri-biotech products with your feeds and fertilizers. Ang tagal na yan. And you know, it's something that you learned from your experience as a young man working in your grandmother's place where you put up a piggery. But anyway, I'm telling you, there are many Filipino communities with the poorest, individuals, farmers and fisher folk, and they have some produce that should be brought post-harvest to the market. Now, we in PAASE, we have leading provinces that we are supporting. A few days ago, we signed an MOU with the Bataan Provincial Governor's Office, and then with some NGOs like National Resilience Council and Carlos Romula Foundation. And then we have the PAASE scientists and engineers working closely with Bataan Peninsula State University to produce certain important structural products for agriculture and also for waste recycling, new innovative products made of plastics and all that. So that's one in Bataan. And 3 weeks ago, we signed an MOU with Leyte. And Leyte has this remarkable record of being the fastest growing agricultural province in the country, with over 400 farmers associations, including former insurgents who were trained by the governor to become farmers. And now they have all of this produce. So let me tell you that in Leyte, they have come up with a software, okay, or a system where they are connecting the producers with the users, the demand with the supply through Quest. So it's information-based technology. What you're providing is the actual delivery, the handling of the physical product. No? So I'm just wondering how you're gonna try to help those poor farmers and fisher folks, say, of Leyte, or the ones that are now improving their livelihood in Bataan. You know, where Bataan is really one of our premier provinces in terms of poverty. The lowest incidence of poverty is in Bataan, and they have a net migration of workers, of residents in Bataan because of Mariveles, because of this. So anyway, in this whole of society or whole of community, picture where will you be a major player. So we say in PAASE, we are looking for S&T patriots or servant leaders, and there are many from the business sector who can be this for our country, para sa bayan. You say for Filipinos. Sige nga, Mark, you share with us your own thoughts. No?
Okay.
Okay.
So
businessman, a successful business person.
Okay, let me just talk about our corporate social responsibility. No, so for AgroTiger, we actually offer some free fertilizers. No, because we've seen so many poverty. No, and if you don't break the cycle of poverty, these farmers will just be poor forever for generations. So we try to keep our products low. We make it in such a way that it increases productivity, so that your harvests are high for lower inputs. No. Second of all, AgroTiger supports about 26 public schools in Pampanga. We just did a tie-up with National Bookstore to give school supplies to the children of the farmers. Because of course, we'd like you to be higher educated than your parents, if that's even possible, right? But of course, AgroTiger, through its CSR, together with National Bookstore and their CSR, last December, I think we supplied 26 public schools with school supplies. No? For Storage X, you won't believe how we can help society, even the poor. Okay, there is one pain point that we discovered in the delivery. You know, when you deliver, when a poorer person, the lowest of the economic class, orders online, sometimes the deliveries can't even find their addresses. So this is where we are coming out with a franchise agreement to put community lockers as your address. So that again is in the future. That is already being done and being conceptualized. We are creating a special locker just for that. So hopefully through the technologies or maybe the progress of our companies, that we will not forget also the people who put us here and then the Filipino nation. And of course, as we export to the world, we also put the Philippine flag proudly which country we land in. So I hope I answered. Yeah.
People are watching on YouTube. I'm getting feedback from people I know who are watching you on YouTube, and just know that this presentation is recorded and it will be posted on the PAASE website over the weekend. We clean out the video and then it can be revisited there. Okay.
Yes,
Pero Mark, imagine if you had socialized pricing, okay, for your lockers, diba? Medyo baka pwede.
Tita, what we actually will do is when we accept GCash and PayMaya, you can pay per transaction. It will only cost you 20 pesos. So that's how low it can be. And of course, with all the commissions by GCash and PayMaya, as low as 20 pesos and then take out their fees, it's very minimal, which comes back to Storage X. But at least it becomes publicly acceptable, publicly affordable in the future. And that's a promise that will be done. We are already doing it.
So Mark, I like it that your CSR, corporate social, is focused on, say farmers, and I say farmers' children. So in Leyte, the governor and the SUK, Eastern Visayas State University, and we are championing this program where the children of the farmers do not aspire to become something else, go to the city and do call center, etc., etc. And also, you want to get the next generation of farmers empowered with technology. And in PAASE, we are committed to doing that. We already have models in Bataan where our PAASE expert on 3D printing and additive manufacturing trained a leader in Bataan Peninsula State University who then trained high school students from Bataan National High School, and they built a drone with microelectronics, so smart drone, to plant seeds. And they did field experiments to show that they're 7 times fold more efficient. So at this point, I'd like to recognize Sandra, your wife, okay, who runs National Bookstore, because I think all of us are champions of what I would call early childhood and youth education, but we are focused on STEM. So Sandra,
yes,
we need to focus on science, technology, engineering, and math education. And unfortunately, CP David is not here now, but he'll come back. We just got support from Unilab STEM and Emerson to run the first national STEM bee competition, okay, in the country, and it's being planned now. We got the first donation, and we want to publicize this. We're working with Knowledge Channel of ABS-CBN, and the other inspiration for this and partner is none other than Father Ben Nebres, who is a PAASE honorary member. So in our position paper that we sent to the government a few months ago, number 1 is STEM education, improve STEM education at the secondary level. And the greatest or the strongest advocate of this is Father Ben, whom the two of you are very close to. Am I right? Right? So Father Ben, 20 years na yan, na alam niya, grabe, what is responsible for the poorest performance of our 4th graders and high school students in TIMSS, you know, the international math standards competitions, where number 1 is Vietnam in the ASEAN. And we are like at the bottom. It's because we do not have good math teachers. Okay, so as part of our PAASE program to support this national STEM bee competition, okay, parang spelling bee pero kailangan STEM bee. Okay, we are really congregating groups of students and teachers from public high schools, hindi Pisay, kasi ang Pisay competitive yan. Yung public high schools, teachers and yung best students for out of class extra curricular activities for training. So yun lang ang because we have to tell you what PAASE is about, and we are trying to make an impact on many different fronts and levels of society. And in your audience now, you have Vince, you have Sandra. Okay, you might be able to help us, okay, in this. Kasi talagang yung Pilipinas, hindi naman talaga mag-i-improve ito if we do not, work for the short to the medium to the long term. Yung ating mga, alam natin, importante, yung ating human capital is the best or the most important investment. And that includes our youth. Okay? So I think Ino has something to say, and there may be other questions, and we are opening the floor to others who might want to say something. So Ino, please.
Yeah, Giselle, I tried to extract some more information from the experiences of Mark. Earlier, Mark, you mentioned about you started with a team of 5 or 6 people, and then you gave a notion that the other 3 are no longer with the group. So what can we learn from your experience along that line and apply that to the university? Go ahead.
Okay, Pono. I just like to say, technology is a different monster. If you're going into tech, your work-life balance will be destroyed, will be disrupted. So it's the same thing that we move very, very fast. So when I interview people, I already tell them very, very on the onset that your life will change if you come into StorageX, and especially if I'm your boss, because we really do things very, very fast here. Mm-hmm. Now, the reason why I took out the 3 because they couldn't cope. No, either they couldn't cope with the lifestyle or they couldn't cope with the deadlines. No, and of course, our culture here is we get things done. Period. And that's the tech part. No. So in the same way as you, whether it's going to be a tech startup or an agricultural startup, no, you have to make the tech work, and there is a deadline. It cannot be forever. See, so the thing is, you have to have the mindset that you're going into tech, and this is going to change your life, and probably will disrupt your work-life balance. So right now, we have a culture where everybody knows this is how we operate, and I'm very, very glad with my team right now. They're amazing. They're all Filipinos, and we all do some personal sacrifice for the greatness of Storage Expo.
Okay, thank you very much, Mark. Thank you.
I think, at this point, we'll give Nelly a chance to speak. Nelly, are you there? Nelly of Biotech, inventor of MicroRich.
Go ahead, Nelly.
Just tell Mark that your product is ready. Hi, Nelly. Can you please increase the volume? Yes, Nelly.
Paano to? Wala yung aking sweetheart.
Okay na. Pwede na. We can hear you. Sige, Nelly.
Sir Mark, are you still interested with our MicroRich? First question.
Yes po, Ma'am Dr. Nelly, I've been courting you since time immemorial. Kayo na lang ho ang iniintay namin.
Okay. Kasi we are also fast tracking yung, alam mo, yung full FPA registration. So, I just would like to tell you na nandun na sa regional office yung ating application, yung ating report para dun sa full, kasi ang meron tayo ngayon ay provisionary, ay hindi daw po pwede na kung titinda abroad ay kailangan daw full ang FPA registration.
Ma'am, let's start po locally, and then when you're ready, you just tell us. I'll go to you po.
Yan, salamat po. Kasi
we'll take care of all expenses po, even marketing.
Ayan. So, Mark, matatapos na yung term ko as PAASE President sa December. Parang kami ni Ino talagang gusto naming makita na may mangyari dito. Kasi panahon ko pa sa UP, sa Quezon Hall, tinututukan ko na si Nelly. Nakakuha siya ng research grant from my office. Talagang tutukan ko yan si Nelly. Gusto ko lang mapakita na yung UPLB Biotech makapag-link up with the private industry. Ngayon, yung stat analysis ng kanyang field studies, na at mahusay ang resulta. Kaya very confident na mahusay yung produkto. No? For everyone's information, it is mycorrhizae. Nelly, tell us a little bit more about your product. Please.
MicroRich ay composed of 12 species na ngayon ng particular mycorrhizal fungi. Kaya mahirap yan kopyahin ng kahit kanisino.
Yes.
This the species came from very stressed environment. So talagang expected na magiging effective sila in promoting growth ng the yield ng halaman. Any crop except the orchids and few of trees. So for almost all plant. Kaya maganda yung katulong talaga ito sa farmers. And people who use the mycobam, kasi originally mycobam yun eh. And MicroRich na-develop because of international demand. And the mycobam kasi meron siyang soil which is it's not allowed to go abroad kung na may soil. So yung MicroRich ay wala siyang soil. Pwede na siyang i-export.
So Nelly, I have to remind you na ang nag-input niyan sa atin, none other than Mark. So ano yung dalawang inputs ni Mark tungkol dun sa prototype product mo? Yan, bakit siya nasa soil? Sabi niya, merong ibang paraan, ilagay sa sponge. So anong ginawa ni Mark? Nagpadala siya sa akin, pinadala ko sa iyo yung sample imported product. Okay? Unang-una, bawal ang soil. Pangalawa, mas magaan ang sponge. Pangatlo, ano pa yung input ni Mark dyan sa product mo? Sabi niya, bakit ganito kalaki ang size ng produkto? Masyadong malaki. Kailangan mas maliit. Di ba, Mark? Naalala mo yon? Oo. At marami
yung aming
na libre si Mark para ma-improve yung product ni Nelly. So sana naman magkatotoo ito, Ino. Please naman, no? Tapos humingi tayo ng suporta from the Department of Agriculture. Okay? Ino.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
okay.
Former Biotech Director, Ino. Okay?
Yan, oo.
Hindi ako biotech.
Hindi ka biotech, pero
Sir,
data
biotech
science
natin.
guy ka eh. Oo.
Saka UPLB, sir. Product ng
Yeah.
UPLB to.
Okay, for the information, you know, it was announced during the Loyalty Day, UPLB established, or there is alumni of UPLB established a corporation, and their first project is to commercialize mycobomb. Really?
Oh, fantastic.
Sir, Mycorrhiz tayo.
Mycorrhiz.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Pero Mark, just know na ang frontliner diyan sa new ano ba yan, corporation or association ng UPLB Foundation, si Francis Laurel. So pagka you know, mapuntahan mo si Francis Laurel, who's now a regent of UP, baka naman mabilis, mas bumilis itong mycorrhiz na ito, ha? Oo.
Sige po.
Thank you, Mark, for waiting for
Salamat
us.
rin po.
Magpapasensyahan mo na lang kami. Talagang ganyan ang proseso sa UP.
Hindi lang
Okay
UP.
lang po.
Na-experience ni Nelly ngayon, outside UP, government procedures. Napaka-bureaucratic. Napakadaming proseso.
Totoo
Okay.
po yun.
Yeah. I'm gonna go back to Mark's Storage X, no? Kasi nga, ito si Ino is a data scientist. He's a top statistician of the country. Pero ako, I'm curious, Mark, about privacy, about data that you gather. Kasi clearly you're gonna gather data concerning the users, okay, the locker users, and then also the vendors, okay, kung saan manggagaling yung produkto, and thirdly, of course, also regarding the deliverers. Okay, so I'm just curious about the data or information issues and privacy, and how a company like yours would be allowed to make use of that or not allowed to make use of that. So I'm just curious.
Okay. So first po, this is our registration to the National Privacy Commission. So Storage X is fully compliant po, no? So what basically that says is we can hold certain information like your name, but we cannot hold it together with other information. So we do not memorize your cell phone, your email, etc. po, no? So even though we memorize your name, it's actually just a user that we memorize your name separate from your last name. We don't put it together with your cell phone or your Gmail. That is in full compliance with the National Privacy Commission. But of course, information produced by our locker, as in traffic, let's say percentage use of food and non-food, that's our proprietary information already, and we can mine that. And we are actually going to go into a joint venture with Shopee in 2022 first quarter, and share traffic information with them, and then they will share with us too.
Mark, I have a related question to that. Have you done a study on the optimal size and number of storage facility per enterprise, like in the dorm, in the condos, and other? Meron ka mong recommended sizes?
We can actually customize the locker based on what you want, no? But if you buy from us or lease from us, our standard model, we can deliver in days or in weeks, no? If you ask us to customize a particular size, give us 30 to 45 days. We will ask you to sign a contract, but anything can be done. That's very easy for us.
Okay, good. Because I'm thinking of the dorm of UPLB. That's very useful there.
Yes, po. Yes, po.
Yeah.
Mark already suggested that to me. UP is major, market.
Yes, po.
Yes. All universities actually.
Yes,
Anyway,
all universities, all airports, everything.
Yes.
We can put.
So ano talaga siya? Game changing disruption or technology. So Mark, thanks for that mind flare or what you say, wala, yung creative, inventive, non-stop working mind. I'd like to recognize Paul from UPLB and then Catherine for joining us. And earlier I need Del Mundo, who's actually based in Texas, one of our PAASE members. So it looks like we're down to 11 participants in Zoom and well, many more in YouTube. So at this point, I'd like to thank Mark with full support from your family for sharing with us your newest invention. And this is the kind of conversation that I really appreciate, Mark. And I know you and Sandra are very devout Catholics, and you are very spiritual. And this is the kind of conversation I appreciate because I think that God works through the hands of the best men and women, in society who well, not just work for their own self-interest, but for the rest of the community. And that is how God works, through us. So honestly, rather than me just hearing all about the messages of to trust in God or to accept our situation now, in our dire situation, I'd rather that we hold conversations among friends and family on constructive, productive ways to help ourselves and the rest of nature. So with that, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us today. And I wish that your tribe increases. Obviously, your 13-year-old is gonna, outdo you at the rate she's going. And that's the way we want our children to be, better than us. Okay,
correct.
So final words from you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mark, for sharing your time and experiences with us. And I think we learned a lot from your experiences. And we hope that we can use these experiences and advice that you have given to us on trying to help a number of people through our services, through our university. More successes on your way, and keep safe. And
thank you, Pop.
Spend some time also with your 13-year-old daughter and your family. Best wishes. Thank you.
Balance yan. Minsan pumupunta ata sa di ba, nag-out of town kayo, no? Nag-work-life balance. So, importante yon.
Yeah, we can bring her to UPLB next time. Pwede na.
We will, Pop.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, thanks everyone for staying on, and see you next time. Every week we have an event in PAASE, sometimes twice a week.
Thank you also to Paul from UPLB. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Nelly. Sige, very, very promising. Very hopeful tayo. Thanks, Susan, Sister Susan, Tita Susan, Sandra, Vince, everyone. Catherine, you're still there. Thank you for joining. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Mercy.
Giselle.
Very proud of Mom Mercy.
Thank you, Sir Ino.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.